Hey, what is going on, Guardians? Nim with Planet Destiny here, and it's Friday, which means that Xur is back in the world of Destiny, and as you can see, this week he's located on Nessus, right up here in the Watcher's Grave. Now, before we head on over to Xur, I had a couple of people asking me what the sparrow that I was using a couple of Xur videos back was, and it's the Braytech Dream 9 sparrow. Now, this came from Eververse, from the Silver Store. Hopefully we'll see this in Bright Dust sooner rather than later before the season ends. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and make our way towards our favorite exotic vendor to see what he has in store for us this week. Hopefully it's something good. Last week he sold the strongholds, which were a Season of the Drifter exotic, which was interesting. I hadn't seen him sell that before, so let's take a look at what he's got for us. All right, bud, what you got? Oh, wow, he has the Arbalest. All right, starting off with the Arbalest Linear Fusion Rifle, another Season of the Drifter exotic. This came out with the Revelry, so if you didn't partake in the Revelry and you still hadn't gotten this Fusion Rifle, there you have it. Now we have Crown of Tempest for the Warlocks, SHINOBU'S Vow for the Hunters, and Ashen Wake Gauntlets for the Titans. Let's start off with the Arbalest, with its Compounding Force intrinsic perk. Fires slugs that cause massive damage to elemental shields of enemy combatants. Now we also have Extended Barrel, Projection Fuse, Disruption Break, which is its trait. Breaking an enemy's shields with this weapon makes them more vulnerable to kinetic damage for a brief period of time. And finally, Composite Stock. Now the Arbalest, it's basically like a linear, not a linear, obviously it's a linear fusion rifle, but it's like a Crooked Fang in your kinetic slot. It's actually pretty decent in the Crucible, kind of sticky. You aren't going to be getting like super cross map snipes. Thank you, Malware, for your impromptu scan. Appreciate you, bud. Sorry about that. And it's actually really good. So if you're going to build around the Arbalest, make sure you're going for fusion rifle reserves and scavengers in PvP. In PvE, it's pretty helpful. I actually put in a lot of work with this during the 0-hour missions for the shields. Not only does it do an excellent job at breaking shields, but it also makes enemies more vulnerable to kinetic damage. So this is actually a fantastic fusion rifle to pick up a linear, so go ahead and get it if you haven't. Now for the Warlocks, we have the Crown of Tempest with its Conduction Tines intrinsic perk. Arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extends the duration of storm trends. As far as perks, we have bow targeting, light reactor, my favorite, machine gun targeting, fusion rifle reserves, and machine gun reserves. Crown of Tempest is a fantastic helmet to have if you're running a Stormcaller either in PvE or in PvP. You pair that with the top tree with Arc Web and you will be consistently getting super energy and your ability energies really fast. So I cannot recommend this enough. Pick it up. SHINOBU'S Vow for the Hunters, with its New Tricks intrinsic perk, improves Skip Grenade, and you gain an additional Skip Grenade charge. Skip Grenade returns energy when it damages enemies. As far as perks, we have Submachine Gun Loader, Fastball, Momentum Transfer, Grenade Launcher Scavenger, and Special Ammo Finder. Now these are kind of all over the place. The Fastball is actually a great perk for these gauntlets to roll with, and you do have this one, Momentum Transfer, as well, which is causing grenade damage reduces your melee cooldown, so it's kind of synergizing, but in my opinion, Fastball is definitely the way to go with this. And finally, we have the Ashen Wakes for the Titans with its Bring the Heat intrinsic perk. Fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. As far as perks, we have Linear Fusion Loader, Submachine Gun Loader, and Momentum Transfer. We have Special Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Finder. Now, I want to take a second here and talk about the Ashen Wakes in both PvE and PvP. They're incredibly underrated. So in PvE, honestly, really, they're viable and they're fun when any activity that you're running has the Grenadier modifier on. it honestly makes fusion grenades such a blast. So when you pair this with either a demolitionist special or heavy weapon, so you can consistently get your grenades back, the Ashen Wigs deal a ton of damage. Now pair that with any debuff effects such as tractor cannon or melting point or the hunter's perfect execution. Ashen Wakes are a blast. Don't sleep on these. Now let's talk about the Ashen Wakes in PvP. Now in PvP, they're definitely a little bit more of a niche exotic to go for and to use, but they're actually really fun. So if you know, they're more of a backup exotic in a sense. So they're more passive rather than an active exotic, in the sense that, you know, if you're in mid combat and you run out of ammo or you got to reload, so you've done some damage to the enemy, throw the grenade and instantly your ass is saved. Basically, these are really fun. Give them a shot, you know, just pepper them down with either your primary or whatever, and then chuck a fusion grenade with the Ashen Wigs. It's incredibly fun. It's incredibly satisfying. This is what actually helped me with my Titan with the Iron Banner quest. So if you haven't done that yet, and Iron Banner is going to roll around this upcoming week, pick up the Ashen Wigs. They're incredibly fun. Now, of course, we have the Fated Engram. This has a chance of dropping pretty much any exotic gear. Let's see if I can get a piece of armor with some intrinsic perks. And we got a Crown of Tempest. So let's see what this one... Oh my god, no way. Holy, okay. Conduction times, of course, we read through that. But let's take a look at these perks. Light Reactor, Hands-On, and Enhanced Assets to Assets. This is the perk that you want to roll on a Crown of Tempest. This is incredibly well rolled. Now, of course, we have Special Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Finder, so I cannot be more thrilled at finally getting a perfect Crown of Tempest. Unbelievable. See, this is why we still pick up this thing, guys. This is why we still do this. Now, of course, we have the Five of Swords Nightfall card if you are missing the crispy 100k score, or 200 if you're going for the masterwork of the Solstice gear. And if you haven't finished your Invitations of the Nine, they're going to appear down here. But that is going to be all for us this week, Guardians. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.